everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of NCWA Pro Wrestling. I'm Mick Karch, back for a second week. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very surprised. Big John Lloyd apparently is still moving. That's right, 1 week later, that must be some house that Big John has purchased. At any rate, I am delighted to be back with you once again with the NCWA. Stay with us. A lot of surprises this week, including a phenomenal matchup. You will see the superior male, at least in his mind, J.B. Trask, going one-on-one with dynamic Jerry Lynn. We will talk to NCWA Commissioner Jim Mitchell. A great night ahead, so stay with us. We are going to take a look right now. Where does he get this superior male stuff? J.B. Trask and dynamic Jerry Lynn.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Batten down the hatches because this feud is about to erupt yet again. Dynamic Jerry Lynn and J.B. Trask. These two have gone at each other like a couple of pit bulls for the past several months in the NCWA. Nothing settled as of yet. Perhaps tonight the icing will be put on the cake for either of these two individuals. J.B. Trask, who calls himself the Supreme Male. Now, I'm sorry, John. Maybe I'm missing something.
Well, Mick, you've got glasses, I've got glasses, but we're both looking at the same person. He is not the Supreme Male, the superior male. He's not even the best-looking male here tonight.
Well, thank you.
Well, that was kind of a compliment of sorts. Before we go any further, Mick, I want to make a correction. Earlier on, I said that DJ Peterson, who recently passed away, was a tag team champion in the AWA with Big Scott Hall. I want to correct myself. He was a partner of the Trooper. Big Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig were AWA tag team champions. Not trying to show my age, but just want to make a correction there.
Well, that's quite all right. Not everybody is as old as I am. Not too many are as old as I am, now that I think of it.
I'm trying to be nice here, Mick. I wanted to leave that compliment there and not slam you while I had the opportunity.
You've had ample opportunity. Back in the ring, dynamic Jerry Lynn and J.B. Trask, ladies and gentlemen. Dynamic Jerry Lynn, one of the great young stars in professional wrestling. I like to call him one of the young lions. He has wrestled for the Global Wrestling Federation, the USWA, a tremendous track record in the nation of Japan. An amiable young man, knows the holds, the counter holds. Just a credit to this business.
That's right, Jerry Lynn, he's been all over, as you mentioned, Mick. What a very personable individual he is. He is a high flyer. In fact, one of the most impressive moves that he does, aside from going over the top rope with flying body presses and flying drop kicks, is he will whip an opponent into the corner, then come in at full speed with a flying drop kick, and there's nowhere for that opponent to go.
These two, as I said, have gone at it back and forth like a couple of pit bulls. They do not like each other. It's as plain and simple as that. They're both great wrestlers. They're both very talented. J.B. Trask can wrestle scientifically with the best of them if he wants to.
That's right. It all depends on what J.B. Trask puts his mind to. Not many people know this, but J.B. Trask recently returned from a tour of Portland out there with Championship Wrestling. Had quite a showing for himself, and now he's back in the NCWA, resuming his feud with dynamic Jerry Lynn.
You know, many of the stars in professional wrestling actually have gone out to Portland to get their real seasoning, if you will. The likes of J.W. Storm, Playboy Buddy Rose, Colonel De Beers, and now J.B. Trask. Something happens to you when you're in that Pacific Northwest turf. You get a real indoctrination into the world of professional wrestling up in the Portland area. Big shoulder tackle by Jerry Lynn. Trask attempted a reverse into the hip toss, and Jerry Lynn again takes command into the side headlock, hip lock takedown, and once again, Jerry Lynn in command.
That's right, momentum on the part of Jerry Lynn. He is very quick inside that squared circle. In fact, if you blink your eyes for a moment, you are going to miss fantastic wrestling action, not only with Jerry Lynn, but with the veteran, the crafty veteran, J.B. Trask.
You know, we have several luminaries here tonight with Fridley 49er Days watching watching this action. One of the great talents in professional wrestling just arrived on the scene a few minutes ago. Down to our left, the man who pinned Razor Ramon on national television with the World Wrestling Federation. The 1-2-3 Kid is here tonight watching this action. Of course, former Cleveland Cavaliers basketball star Brett Anderson here in the audience tonight.
Not to mention that, Mick, also ahead to my left, Billy Blaze is here. As you mentioned, luminaries here checking out the wrestling action with the NCWA, and so far so good. Skies are overcast, but the rain seems to have let up the intermittent sprinkles that we had. Great night for wrestling action.
Well, if it starts coming down, pal, off with the headsets, and I'm out of here because I don't want to be fried and go down in history with that kind of a footnote.
That's right. Well, a couple of weeks back, you read in the paper what happened to that gentleman who was fishing. Lightning struck his fishing rod while he was out on the lake. Luckily, he survived, but anything electrical, Mick, we're out of here.
What a maneuver by Jerry Lynn. Trask misses the clothesline. Lynn with that big atomic drop right to the spinal cord. Lynn back with the side headlock. Let's take a break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll come back with the remainder of this bout. Jerry Lynn and J.B. Trask. Stay with us.
There are two ways to build a body. This way and this way. Anabolic steroids. Another drug that can kill. The Minnesota Medical Association and the Minnesota Nurses Association. Partners in care because we care.
We are back with the wrestling action. John Lloyd here with Mick Karch. This match between J.B. Trask and Jerry Lynn, NCWA Pro Wrestling. Now reversal by Jerry Lynn.
Oh, Trask attempted a leapfrog. He hurt his own knee. He may have blown out a knee on that attempted leapfrog. He stumbled a bit. The mat may be wet, in fact, from some of the sprinkles, the rain showers from a little bit earlier on. Trask went down like a ton of bricks. Kreitzman is asking him if he wants to continue. This may be serious.
Well, we'll have to see. I don't think dynamic Jerry Lynn is going to give him a break. In fact, if I were Jerry Lynn in the squared circle, I'd be winding up.
Oh, I should have known. As long as I've been around this business, John Lloyd, I should have realized never to trust this guy, J.B. Trask.
You know, Mick, not only was that move appalling by J.B. Trask, what was more appalling is that there were fans at ringside that were applauding J.B. Trask for that.
Well, Jerry Lynn went over and extended a hand of friendship of sorts, asked if J.B. Trask was all right, if the match should continue, and of course the cheap shot. Cheap shots and J.B. Trask go very well together. They're synonymous.
You know, a few months back, Mick, I asked J.B. Trask just what does J.B. stand for, and he said, just because. Arrogance personified in the squared circle with J.B. Trask.
Just because. All right. Now Jerry Lynn with the reverse. Oh, what a chop. Right across the chest, and another one of J.B. Trask. Irish whip across the ring. Oh, no. Good Lord.
Looks like he went in for that flying drop kick, but J.B. Trask ducked down out of the way, and Jerry Lynn is hurt.
Jerry Lynn came down on the back of his neck. And I'll tell you something, the one part of the body that wrestlers work on the most when they first get into the business is strengthening that neck. There is such a possibility of serious neck injury, spinal cord injury. They've got to toughen up the neck, and hopefully that Jerry Lynn has done enough of that where he's not seriously hurt after that maneuver in the corner.
Well, Mick, let's see if you remember this, but a few years ago, back in the WWF, quick draw Rick McGraw, he died. He broke his neck working out and training, as a matter of fact, so definitely something that you want to work on is strengthening those neck muscles.
There's an abdominal stretch now.
10 minutes.
By J.B. Trask, and of course when referee Bruce Kreitzman is out of position, Trask reaches up, grabs that rope for additional leverage. And as soon as Kreitzman goes up to check on it, of course, J.B. Trask, the innocent flower, takes his hand off the ropes as if nothing happened. Look at this.
You know, I think...
Oh, Kreutzmann caught him. Kreutzmann came up from the other side. Well, J.B. Trask, not the brightest guy in the world, didn't figure that maybe Kreutzmann could come around from the other side.
Well, J.B. Trask, if you think of flowers, when I think of J.B. Trask, I think of poison ivy.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk about somebody that'll rub you the wrong way.
And now he's working on Jerry Lynn on the far side of the ring from our vantage point.
Now referee Bruce Kreutzmann calling for the break. Trask, look at him. He's always tossing his hair back. I think his hair is his pride and joy. I guess we could call him the Samson
Absolutely.
of the NCWA.
Well, call him what you will. He's got Jerry Lynn on a bad way right now. The crowd picking up the chant. Jerry, there ducks the clothesline over the top leapfrog. Oh, my word. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker.
What a maneuver there by J.B. Trask. Jerry Lynn is face down right into the mat.
Count of one, this could do it right here. Oh, give Jerry Lynn credit. A very tenacious individual. It takes an awful lot to put away the dynamic one.
But also a mistake on the part of J.B. Trask, just laying across the chest, lateral press, not hooking a leg. Well, definitely a mistake on his part.
It's the arrogance you talked about. He figured he doesn't have to hook a leg. With Jerry Lynn, you better hook the leg. You better make sure his lights are out.
Now Trask choking away on Jerry Lynn.
Tries for the suplex. Lynn with a nice block and a reversal. Oh! Face first into the canvas.
Version of the gourd buster used by Arn Anderson, and Trask went face first. Lucky didn't split his head wide open on that. And now Jerry Lynn climbing the ropes. He's going outside, Mick. He's going up top.
Is Trask ready to be had? That's the question. He's been known to play possum. Not that time. Caught him with a drop kick. Sent him all the way across the ring. Lynn in for the cover now. He's going to try to hook the leg. Trask has that left leg hanging over the ring apron. Referee Kreutzmann calls for the break.
Almost had him right there. I think what Jerry should have done was hook the other leg. Now he sets him up.
Oh, what a power bomb. My word, count of 1, 2. Oh, 2.5, and once again, just when you thought you had a pinfall, both of these young wrestlers with tremendous staying power.
Well, Jerry Lynn might be small as far as his height goes. He's very well put together. Now look at him. He's going to the ropes.
There's that quick leg drop. In for the cover again. Count of 1, 2, and again, J.B. Trask able to roll the shoulder.
You know, Mick, in the past battles between J.B. Trask and Jerry Lynn, we've seen him in the ring. We've seen him outside of the ring. We've seen him flying over the top ring ropes. There are a couple of high flyers. Look at that.
Great crossbody from the top. That's got to do. No. Oh, for crying out loud.
Now, Jerry Lynn, he's not quite sure what to do. He's looking at referee Bruce Kreutzmann, asking him to count faster.
Well, give J.B. Trask all the credit in the world. I thought he was finished right there with that crossbody. Jerry Lynn continues the assault with the chops all the way across. Oh, drop kick. Man, there was nowhere for Trask to go. He was backed right against the corner. Count of 1, 2. Oh, my word.
Somehow, J.B. Trask able to kick out of that.
Now J.B. Trask picks up the leg. Oh,
match, 15 minutes.
He drilled Jerry Lynn on the inside of the thigh with that leg drop.
Oh. Sorry to interrupt you, but that hurts just thinking about it.
And now what's Trask doing? A high-risk maneuver apparently being attempted by Trask. I don't know if this is advisable at this point in time. No way. Jerry Lynn was ready from the top rope. Big slam.
Well, J.B. Trask took too long climbing up, trying to make his way to that top. And dynamic Jerry Lynn was waiting for him.
Irish whip. There's that big elbow. Trask flat on his back now. Is it enough? Is it enough to put him away? I don't know. Lynn with the body slam. Forearm shot to the side of the head. And now I guess I am not quite understanding the strategy here of Jerry Lynn. I may have attempted to roll a man up from the top rope. Oh, there it is. Crossbody all the way across the ring. Count of 2. Oh.
Unbelievable action right there, Mick. I think Jerry Lynn was trying to set him up for his aerial assault, and you saw him fly across the ring almost 15 feet.
Well, I'm very surprised. Oh, double clothesline. Each wrestler had the maneuver in mind, and we might have a double knockout right here.
Both wrestlers went down hard right in the middle. Jerry Lynn trying to get to his sitting position. JB Trask rolling over, but I think they knocked the wind out of each other with that double clothesline.
Referee Kreitzman gets to the count of 8, and both wrestlers make it to a vertical base. Oh, Lynn misses with a wild roundhouse. JB Trask, belly to back. This could do it. Count of 1, 2. It's over. Ring the bell. Oh, he got him. But you know something? I'm not sure, John. I'm not real sure about this. It appeared Jerry Lynn. Guess what I thought?
Wait a second.
Gentlemen, Jerry Lynn.
That is what I thought. Jerry Lynn raised his shoulder at the count of 2. JB Trask flat on the back for the entire 3 count. Very, very smart maneuver on the part of Jerry Lynn, thinking all the time in that ring. It appeared, John, that JB Trask had him where he wanted him, that belly-to-back suplex. Knocked the wind out of Jerry Lynn, but instinctively, Jerry rolls the shoulder and gets the Duke.
That's right. They've been in many, many matches before. For Jerry Lynn, he heard the 1 count, heard the 2 count, and instinctively that shoulder went over. Let's get a replay right now. Take a look at what happened. JB Trask and Jerry Lynn.
Now watch very closely. Here's the count. Now watch Jerry Lynn. He raised the shoulder. JB Trask was flat on his back. Great thinking on the part of Jerry Lynn. Dynamic Jerry Lynn. Whether or not this is the end of the feud, John, I don't know, but at least for tonight, the notch on the gun belt goes to dynamic Jerry Lynn. This is Mick Karch along with Big John Lloyd. We're coming back with the NCWA from friendly 49er days.
Hi, I'm Jim Mitchell, and my guest tonight is none other than Dick Blood.
How you doing, Jim?
Good. You know, last time you were in the 49ers, you had a big match in a tag team with the Yates, and I thought it was tremendous, but I want to get a little comments from you, what it was like.
Yeah, one of the Whalens got hurt and called me into town. Luckily, I could make it. 49er days, I was looking forward to it, but I ran into a quite big opponents in the people who we faced up against, and the Yateses are some big boys. I didn't expect what I got out of them. Last time I'd seen them, they'd been some good wrestlers, but now they pulled a little bit of biting, scratching, kicking, but it was a little unexpected, but we came out pretty well.
Well, you had a good partner in Doug Whalen.
Oh, yeah, great partner. Him and his brother are a great tag team. One of them got hurt, and he happened to call me up. I was glad that he called me, because that just means that he respected me and my ability to wrestle, and I think he's a great wrestler, too, and I was glad to help him out.
Well, just when we were talking before the interview, you told me that no matter what you did, you want to get back in with the Yateses again.
Oh, yeah, I was a little surprised on their tactics. I got a little taken by surprise. Whether it's a Whalen or another opponent, I think that I could come back and maybe take them championship belts away from the Yateses. They're a great group. They know how to wrestle. They don't show it right now, even though they know. The fans, they like to punch, they like to kick, but as they like to know, as I know how to do that too. And I'm kind of looking for an opponent right now, or a partner right now, and could be the Whalen, could be someone else down the line, but I'm looking at them belts. It's kind of funny how their contract to the Yateses hasn't been on the table since they knew I was back in the NCWA, but I kind of think they're sweating it out, Jim.
Well, it's like anything else. They just want to hit and miss, and you're one of the guys they want to miss.
Well, I've been a 5-time tag team champion all over the upper Midwest, and I'm going to say that I can find a partner, and there's a lot of great partners out there that I can find, and I'm sure that a lot would like to wrestle with me again, because they know there's one thing in my mind, that's winning the gold from the Yateses. Even though they're a great bunch of wrestlers, but there's always 2 better, and that's me and my new partner, whoever it may be. The contract's always open. I'm just hoping I can find the right partner.
Well, Dick, thanks for being here, but before you go, there's my respects goes out to a great chef. Hank Meadows passed away last Friday, and I want to pay my respects, and I think you've heard about him before.
Yes, I seen him when I was a young kid growing up on TV. He was a great chef, and he was always on Channel 11, and I watched him all the time.
Okay, thanks a lot for being here. This is Jim Mitchell for NCWA.
belt?
Why, no. I don't wear my safety belt.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to week number 2 of the Wrestling Flashback with Slick Mick. My guest at this time, you get around more than I do, Jim Mitchell. Every time I turn around, there you are again. Big Jim, we've asked you out this week because I know you were very interested in last week's guest, a guy who, after all these years, how can somebody continue to maintain that hatred for the American people? A guy you're very familiar with, Chris Markoff.
Well, I'll tell you, I've wrestled Chris Markoff when I first started, and he gave me a lesson that I have never forgotten. It took me 2 weeks to walk properly. He took me apart. And that man hates Americans more than anybody I have ever met. I met Hans Schmidt, Hans Herman, and the Komakoffs. I've met them all. But that man really hates the Americans. When you go to the football games, the volleyball games, wrestling, college wrestling, he hates them. He just goes out of his crazy mind. I've just seen him go crazy.
But as you and I well know, there's a line drawn. He stops hating the Americans when it comes time to cash that paycheck. Then all of a sudden, the Americans are not so bad.
Well, you know, the promoter, one of the greatest promoters ever was, Wally Carbo. Hey, pal, he always thought of that scene. Give me my check. If it's on top, you're okay. If not, we got to go talk.
You know, we talked a little bit earlier on before we came out about the tag match, the Legends tag match, just recently here in the Twin Cities area. Chris Markoff teamed up with another anti-American fella by the name of Sheik Adnan Al-Kaisi to battle Baron Von Raschke and strongman Ken Patera. Anybody that said that these 4 wrestlers are in the twilight of their career, it was a great matchup.
Well, you got the camel jockey himself, who goes across the deserts in camels. You know, there's a man who's another legend. He is great. He is one of the best I've seen around. And you take him with Chris Markoff, and I saw that match, and I'll tell you what, I've never seen such a match of legends wrestle together. Patera, with a hip operation, came out, and he did a fantastic job. And you got Baron Von Raschke, who never seems to get old.
He absolutely doesn't. The Baron, I looked at a picture of him the other day. He looks the same as he did when he broke in 1966. The Baron, who, of course, says he's the Robert Redford of professional wrestling. I'm not quite sure where he comes up with that. Let's talk a little bit more about Markoff, because unfortunately, or fortunately, as the case may be, he's become kind of a mainstay for the NCWA on some of the very special events, Fridley 49er days and that type thing. As a promoter, Jim, in your capacity, how in the world do you maintain your sanity in dealing with a guy like that?
Well, you got to go back to the old saying, money talks. And that man draws money anywhere he goes. So every time I get a chance and I get a show, I call that man on the phone, and I tell you, my ears ring. I hate to call the man, but he does put money in the bank for us. That's why I call him and I put up with it. And no matter what you do, you got to respect him for that. That man is hated, and that's why I can make money on him.
Well, you talk about a guy you think your ears ring. I don't think I have heard a louder voice ever than that of Chris Markoff. Maybe when Kate Smith was singing God Bless America. Any final words, Jimbo?
Nope. Just remember, the NCWA will be looking out there soon for more matches in your area.
We're coming right back, everybody. Stay with us. Keep Markoff out of here, will you?
Oh, please.
Fisherman A is attracting insects. Fisherman B is bug-free. But even with all those annoying gnats and mosquitoes, Fisherman A is going to have a more comfortable night. Because while the running lights on his boat do tend to attract bugs, they're very effective at repelling other things. If you're not afraid of the dark, you should be.
Hi, we're going to give you a little insight of next week's matches with TJ Lightning and JJ the Hitman. I know he doesn't like to be called JJ, but you know what? That's what he is to me, JJ the Hitman. And what a match they had. And let's go to the interview right now.
JJ the Hollywood Hitman. Tonight it's me and you, pal. Do I look worried? No, never. The technical genius is never worried. Pal, you better worry, because nobody, and I mean nobody, has the technical ability of me. I am the greatest walking, breathing human being on the face of this earth, and tonight you're going to feel it, buddy.
This is the Hollywood Hitman. Tonight my opponent is TJ Lightning.
it's done. I got the most high-flying moves in this whole league and organization, and I'm ready to take it to them. I'll show you how it's done right now. You just watch.
Boy, are TJ Lightning and Hitman hot and heavy for each other. You know, right after this, they're going to need, somebody is going to need flowers for their coffin, because these guys are really hot at each other. You know, next week, you're going to see the match, and Fridley, and I tell you what, you're going to be surprised. What a match that was. You're going to get to see it once and for all, who is the main man in that ring. And I'll tell you, you go back to the old story, they both have got a lot of savvy in that ring, but you got to go back to the other saying, I think TJ Lightning is just one step ahead of him, because I'll tell you what, he stops and stalks with his opponent. Where TJ Lightning just goes in there and he stalks it and stalks it, where Hollywood Hitman, he just goes flying like a bird. You know, it's almost like he's another Snuka. He flies. And that's what you got to be careful of. When you're flying around like that, you got to think way ahead of your opponent. It's just like collegiate style wrestling. You got to be one step ahead of your opponents all the time. But next week, you will see for yourself who is the better one of all. And I hope we don't have to have flowers out there for either one of them, because I'll tell you what, they're two up-and-coming young men in this profession. And I'll tell you, there's other matches that you'll be seeing in the next months to come that you're going to really enjoy. The NCWA is going to bring bigger and better wrestling to you. I'm telling you right now. John Lloyd, come back. Mick Karch, thanks a lot for being here this week. And thank you very much. And here we go. I hope we're going home with this, because I'm getting lost. Thank you very much for my part of the NCWA. Let's go to this.
To stop a friend from drinking and driving.
Wait.
Use your wits.
This is your car.
Yeah.
My brother had the same car. He never let me drive it, though.
No?
Wait till he hears you've got the same one, and you let me drive it. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Late one night in
Every week for the past 4 years, Stephanie has read stories to a room full of Savannah, Georgia preschoolers. Every week, the look on the children's faces is priceless. The love that Stephanie feels from every child has made her life a whole lot brighter. Even though Stephanie has never even seen their faces. To see how you can help in your community, call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
All right, everybody, another great evening of wrestling action with the NCWA. I want you to join us next week. First of all, Big John Lloyd will be back. I'm quite sure of that. He's chomping at the bit. He's seen enough of me. Big John is going to be right back in this very spot. And a very surprise guest as we take a look at one of the great veterans in professional wrestling next week with the Wrestling Flashback for the NCWA. And once again, thanks to them for giving me another shot. This is Slick Mick, Body Slams and Pinfalls. We'll see you next week.